The shuttle doors opened to a world no human had touched before. The ground was black, cracked like dried bone. The air was thin, heavy with dust, yet their suits filtered it. In the distance stood a temple, taller than any mountain. Its spires curled upward, sharp and twisted, like claws holding the sky. The astronauts stepped forward, boots sinking into ash. Their radios crackled with static, voices breaking apart. Still, they walked, guided by fear and wonder. The closer they came, the more the temple seemed alive. The walls pulsed faintly, veins glowing under the surface. Another group moved across a vast plain. They carried scanners, watching strange readings spike. The ground here was littered with broken statues. Each statue looked like a human body, but wrong. Faces were stretched too long, mouths frozen in screams. One astronaut whispered, "Were these alive ones?" No one answered. The silence was too loud. A cold wind swept across the plain, though no air should move. Something unseen breathed between the statues. Far away, another team climbed jagged cliffs. At the top, they found a stone gate carved into the rock. The gate was black, wider than a city street. Symbols glowed faintly, shifting when not watched. "It looks like it's waiting," someone said. They pointed their lights inside. The passage stretched endlessly, walls wet like flesh. Drips echoed into the dark. One astronaut stepped inside. The floor pulsed under his boots. Back near the temple, the first group entered its shadow. The surface hummed when touched, like a beating heart. Their lights scanned upward, but the spires vanished into the black sky. One astronaut pressed a hand against the wall. It was warm. He pulled back quickly, shivering inside his suit. "This is no stone," he whispered. The others stared, afraid to agree. The temple's doors opened without touch. A sound like breathing filled the air. The group on the plain moved carefully. One statue's eyes followed them. Another leaned forward when they turned away. Radios filled with whispers, no one spoke. "Do not stay here," a voice said. "Do not stay." One astronaut dropped her scanner, hands shaking. She turned to run. But the statues were closer now. They formed a circle. The cliff team moved deeper inside the gate. Their lights flickered, helmets filled with static. The walls seemed to move when glanced at. One astronaut thought she heard footsteps. She turned. The passage was empty. Still, the sound of walking continued, louder now. Behind them, shadows stretched without light. In orbit above, the main ship watched with cameras. The pilot leaned forward, eyes locked on the screens. He saw the temple glowing faintly. He saw movement on the plane. But it wasn't his crew. Something else walked among the statues. Tall, thin, bones too long, faces hidden. They moved like broken marionettes. The pilot whispered a prayer. No one answered. Inside the temple, the first group found a vast hall. The ceiling curved like a ribcage. Black liquid dripped into pools that steamed. Carvings covered the walls. The carvings showed people kneeling before shapes too monstrous to name. One astronaut said, "This is a place of worship." Another replied, "Or a place of sacrifice." A sound echoed through the hall. Something moved above them. On the plain, the statues closed in. Their stone mouths opened. Dust poured out, filling the air. The astronauts coughed, even through their filters. One reached for his weapon, shaking. The statues froze again, silent, waiting, watching. A crack split across the ground. The earth shook beneath their boots. From below, something began to rise. The cliff team ran back toward the gate. The walls screamed with voices of the dead. The symbols glowed brighter, bleeding red light. One astronaut fell, tangled in cables. The others tried to pull him free. The cables tightened like muscles. His scream filled their helmets. Then silence. They fled, leaving the suit behind. The cables twitched, dragging it deeper. Inside the ship above, alarms blared. Systems failed one by one. The pilot tried to send a warning, but every channel filled with whispers. Stay, the voices said. You came too far. The pilot locked the doors. Footsteps echoed inside the empty hallways. He wasn't alone anymore. A shadow leaned close to the screen. On the planet, the temple shook. Spires split open, glowing from within. The hall pulsed like a living heart. Astronauts stumbled as the floor rose beneath them. Hands reached from the walls, not human hands. They grabbed and pulled. Screams filled the comms. The temple swallowed them whole. Above, the stars burned silent, endless, and cold.